Okay, let's look at the last passage now. Okay, comparable worth is concept that rejects the premise of a separate and low wage hierarchy for jobs that are done primarily by women, arguing instead that the earnings should reflect only the worth of the work performed. This worth should be determined by an evaluation system that rates jobs according to their social importance and skill requirements. So basically, job should pay you according to the social importance and skill requirement is what's being told. Because comparable worth does not attack all forms of inequality, it can have only a modest direct effect on the overall degree of inequality in society. But in attacking gender inequality in the job classification system, it attacks a major component of gender inequality in the United States. The likelihood that other forms of inequality will become more manifest with the lessening of gender inequality is not a valid argument against a comparable worth. Indeed, struggles for comparable worth may help launch campaigns against similar forms of inequity. Still, while conservatives have battled hard against comparable worth, radicals have been reluctant to fight for it because they see narrow presentations in comparable worth litigation as the limits of the concept. So basically, he's saying that your job should pay for how skilled you are and how much it is important. Okay. Now, although this kind of a feature is good for most occupations in disrupting the gender roles, it somehow is not very, very great. Okay. Uh, but in addition to helping redress particular inequities, comparable worth could open a discussion on the entire wage system. Its theoretical and political impact will reach far beyond the framework which it was conceived for, and force a rethinking of assumptions underlying current employment practice in the market itself. So basically, he's saying that this comparable worth theory, whatever it is, it will bring out a new thought. It will create some kind of a debate that will act as a catalyst for some kind of a change. How comparable worth theory will affect the hierarchy of wages is more difficult to foresee. It does not directly challenge the concept of a hierarchy. In fact, its insistence that jobs must be evaluated implies a hierarchy. Okay, that means jobs must be evaluated. That means each job must be categorized and differentiated according to its characteristics, is an hierarchy. However, its rejection of market as an adequate basis for determining wages initiates a discussion of how value should be assigned to jobs. So, if you're not looking at market as the determinants for these wages, then how exactly should you be looking at the job ka value? Advocates of comparable worth have challenged prevailing standards of valuation, which then form the formal job obligations, first developed in industrial settings. So they've rejected this kind of a thing, which came out from the industry, which was the first thing, the traditional evaluations. These evaluations based on points awarded for different job tasks gave considerable emphasis to such activities, such as strenuous lifting and the operation of expensive equipment. Consequently, the skills and knowledge of more typical of work done by women are less heavily emphasized. The Dictionary of Occupational Titles reveals numerous current instances of such imbalance in job ratings. So basically, they said that heavy lifting and all is very hard, or working on complex mechanisms or machinery is very hard. So those jobs should be paid more. Those jobs are not done by women. So women are not being paid more. That's exactly what he's talking about. While comparable worth advocates accept the principle of a hierarchy of wages, arguing that only they seek more objective measures of job worth, the issues they raise provoke a broader debate. The debate does not, as the opponents have claimed, concern the feasibility of setting up and applying evaluative standards. Employees have done that for centuries. Rather, the debates about the social values and priorities underlying the wage hierarchy and ultimately the market where age-old conventions and political as opposed to pure economic forces enter the process of setting this. So he's saying that all this setting wages evaluations that are being done and all are not uh, purely economic, but political forces are also coming into this entire thing. Okay, all right. So let's look at the first question. Which of the following summarizes the main point of the passage? Uh, the history of comparable worth parallels the history of changes? No, that's not what we are talking about. Sorry, where's my pen? Yeah, so it's not the first one. Whereas B, the ultimate success of comparable worth depends on public discussion. No, that's also not what we're talking about. Comparable worth has social implications that extend beyond specific adjustments. Yes. So we are seeing that it's not only just distinguishing between men and women, but In a way, it's initiating an entire discussion into wage hierarchies altogether. Comparable worth is gaining adherence even though it has traditionally met with organized opposition. No. Comparable worth has been instrumental in affording women access. No, it is not spoken about at all in the entire passage, right? So your answer will be C.